Have you ever caught yourself writing a whole essay to explain something when really one line would have been enough? Yeah, same. So let's talk about why we do this and how to stop. Welcome to Rebuild Different. I'm Epiphany Page, and today we're getting into a habit that a lot of us don't even realize is rooted in survival, which is over-explaining. You know that thing where you're halfway through a 5-minute voice note justifying something that really doesn't need explaining? Yeah, that one. We do it because we want to avoid conflict or manage people's reactions. Or we're just afraid of being seen as selfish or lazy or difficult. But here's the truth. Over-explaining doesn't protect your peace, it drains it. It's emotional labor that you don't owe anybody. It waters down your boundaries and keeps you performing for approval that you shouldn't have to earn. All right, story time. So the other day, I was with my neighbor. She is 93, and she is the sweetest lady that you'll ever meet. She lives in my building. She's sweet, she's sharp, she's independent, she's funny. But she had dinner plans, and she was telling me that she needed an additional 15 minutes to get ready. And she was kind of stressing over what to text these people to tell them that she was going to be running late. So she was saying, okay, Paige, so should I type out what I'm doing, how long it's going to be, like just give them a rundown of what I've been doing today? She was getting ready to write this entire paragraph. So I said, we're going to delete that. All you need to say is running 15 minutes late. I'll see you soon. And she hesitated a little bit, but she ended up pressing send. And you know what happened? Not even 5 seconds later, they texted back and said, okay, see you soon. That was it. No drama, no disappointment, just all right. And then it kind of reminded me that we just create so much unnecessary tension in our minds. We'll build this whole movie of how we think that somebody is going to react. And we'll convince ourselves that they'll be mad, or they'll talk about us, or they'll think that we're playing with their time. When really, it's not that deep. And we're not actually reacting to them. We are reacting to the fear of being misunderstood. And that's what over-explaining really is. Anxiety in a monologue. Over-explaining is a symptom of fear. It's fear of disappointing people, it's the fear of being misread, and the fear that if we soften what we say, then people aren't going to like us anymore. Which is a totally human feeling, a totally human reaction. But it's rooted in self-protection. And a lot of us grew up learning that love and acceptance were conditional. Like we had to earn it by being agreeable or helpful, or in my case, growing up in New Hampshire, palatable and easy to digest. So now as adults, when we try to set that boundary or say no, that old wiring kicks back in. And instead of standing firm, we start negotiating our needs in real time. And then we end up giving a whole PowerPoint on why we can't make it to brunch. But the truth is, a boundary doesn't need a backstory. It just needs clarity. And when you explain too much, what you're really doing is asking for permission. And you don't need permission to take care of yourself. And this shows up so much, especially in family dynamics with our parents. And if you got boomer parents, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You know that feeling where you can't just say, I can't come over tonight, without immediately launching into a whole list of reasons. Like, I'm tired because I'm working late, I have to do laundry, I have to cook, I've got an early morning. But that's not about respect, it's about guilt. And that's about trying to manage how they'll feel instead of honoring what you need. And the thing is, a lot of our parents were taught that being self-sacrificing is love. So when we set boundaries, sometimes they take it personal because it's not what they were modeled. But as adults, it's definitely on us to break that pattern. You can love your family and still not explain yourself into exhaustion. You can say, I can't tonight, full stop. And also let me remind everybody that no is a complete sentence. Not because you don't care, but because you actually do. You care about your mental health, your energy, and your peace. And peace doesn't come with a paragraph. Here's the hidden cost of over-explaining. It makes you second guess your own decisions. The more you explain, the more that you convince yourself that you need a reason to be valid. You start to believe that your no or I can't is only valid if somebody else agrees with it. And that is a very dangerous loop because you end up living reactively instead of intentionally. And you start giving away your authority one long message at a time. And the people that benefit from you over-explaining, they will definitely keep doing it because it keeps them comfortable. But boundaries are not about comfort. They're about clarity. All right, so how do you start breaking this pattern? First, pause before you start explaining things. Ask yourself, am I sharing for clarity or am I sharing for comfort? If it's comfort, take a breath. You don't owe anybody that extra layer. Second, practice letting silence be the only explanation. Because if somebody asks why, your response can be because I don't want to, and that's enough. That is completely enough. And third, notice where you feel the most pressure to justify yourself. Is it work? Is it family? Is it your friendships? Is it your romantic relationships? That's usually where your self-worth still feels tied to performance. And the more that you practice saying less, the more that you're going to realize people are either going to respect your boundary or reveal themselves when they don't. Either way, clarity wins. So here's what I've learned. Having boundaries or having a boundary does not require a backstory. A no doesn't need a novel, and your peace does not require a PowerPoint. You are allowed to take up space without explaining why you deserve to be there. And once you stop over-explaining, you start healing that part of you that believed that your truth had to be approved before it could be valid. If this hit home for you, share it with someone who also struggles with over-explaining, because we all know one. And tell me, what's one area of your life where you'd like to stop over-explaining yourself? Until next time, protect your energy, protect your peace, and say less. This is Rebuilt Different. I'll see you guys next week.